James, welcome, James. Just getting set up. Keeping me busy. Oh, let me turn the volume down. I'm hearing my own voice. There we go. Keeping me busy with all these new Discord servers and Substacks. Excellent. Glad to see you've managed to set them all up. Yeah, so hopefully I've been sort of having a day just trying to kind of get set up. I don't know what's going on. So I'm busy trying to sort out my iPad, but for some reason it's not doing what it should be doing. I'll work from my laptop. Okay. But yeah, just give me a sec and then we'll get rolling. Okay, so I'm going to start with just having a little kind of browse through. I'm not sure how many people we've got watching this evening, but it looks like it's just your good self, James. For some reason, I can't get my iPad to sign into my account, so oh, there we go. We've got three. Okay, we've got three people watching. I think what I'm going to do is, instead of just leaping into doing the with the painting, I just want to have a little preamble, because one of the things I've found is
I start kind of painting, and I'm not sure if it's to do with the algorithm, but it tends to, then people start kind of coming in, and by, you know, almost like halfway through. Obviously, I'm going to be doing some painting, but just thought I'd do a little recap. So this is one that I just did. When did I do it? Was it last night or this morning? I'm losing track of days. I think it was like yesterday. There we go. It was yesterday. Put it on TikTok. Had a fair few likes on it. I had to upload 2 versions of it because TikTok decided to kind of put some dubstep on there or something or other, which didn't suit it. So I had to re-upload it. But I got, between them, I got like almost a couple of thousand views on that, which is great. So I'm looking forward to painting that. And then we've got the soldier, which you will have seen. And hi Pie, welcome. T Todd, holy moly, thanks T Todd. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to, again, with James as my wingman, before I sort of continue going through my sketchbook, what I'm going to do is, because some of you lovely people who are visiting at the moment, you may only be sort of stopping for a short while. So what I like to do is get connected with you via YouTube. So I'm going to paste my Substack in here, which hopefully you can see there. And if you subscribe to that, you can get updates on behind the scenes of my sketchbooks, videos, of course, things like that. And it's about really building a community. There's also a link to Discord on there as well. So please do, join that, and then you'll be able to get a load of it. Because if you're new here, of course, this has been going really for a good couple of, sort of solid months. All of this may be very, very new to you. So, it's mainly like fantasy, sci-fi, kind of steampunk, that kind of thing. Tend to work traditionally. So I use one of these bad boys, little ink pen there. And where's my ink? Oh, it must be in the other room. But anyway, I don't. This is some manga type. I started using this, but it's not waterproof. So, but I've got some other waterproof stuff. But it's basically pen and ink, all done traditionally. I do teach digital at Coventry University, and I do 3D and 2D, like with Photoshop and other things, but I love doing traditional. So if you do like this, if this floats your boat, be sure to like and subscribe, of course, on YouTube, but also get onto Substack. As far as I'm aware, all you need to do is just put your email in there and it does the rest, and then you'll be able to get messages from me and also just be part of a community. So there we are. So yeah, so just some other ones there. I'm just doing a little preamble before I get into doing some of the painting, because very often I was just saying to James, when I'm in the middle of painting, people are kind of going in halfway through going, wait, what's going on here? And they don't know any of this other stuff. So I'm just showing this. It's, what do they call it? Exposition. Who else we got? Hi Pie again. Can I shout out to Magmag? Magmag. Welcome Magmag, or shout out to Magmag. You need to go. Hi Pie, thank you very much for stopping by, but be sure to subscribe to the channel and also to Substack, please. T Todd as well. T Todd, if you're going to stick around, that's great, but be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Substack, please, if you want to, of course. Or maybe you're just dropping by, and maybe another time. Who knows? So anyway, just showing a few bits here. This is what tends to happen. Kind of get a lot of people kind of coming through, leaving lovely comments, and but the connection is lost. So I want to keep that connection. You very kindly commented, which is lovely. And what I want to do is I want to say, hey, there's more of this. There's going to be more of this, and there's even going to be a book at the end of it. So if you can be part of that journey, that would be awesome. All right, just a few more, and then I'm going to get on and do some painting. Dan's back. Hey Dan, how you doing? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Welcome. So yeah, a few more there. Just showing this for any newcomers. For the regulars, you'll have seen all of these. As you can see there, we've got a few more. So I'm going to be painting now. What am I going to be painting? Well, I was planning on doing, what was it? I was planning on doing some faces. I'm wondering, oh yeah, I think that was the one I was thinking of doing. I was also wondering, Dan, seeing as though you're here, whether to do that big scene, but I don't know, that is quite a big scene. So maybe what we'll do is, where are we now? We're on Tuesday today. I'm thinking that the in scene here, but tomorrow, and Dan, no pressure, Dan, at all, but if you're around, then I think I will attempt to paint this scene here with the pirate ship. That's the plan anyway. I don't think I'll have time to do both, but I think I'll stick with that for now. And like I say, or tomorrow or whenever you're going to be around. But here's the thing, Dan. If you sign up to Substack, we'll be able to keep in touch, and you'll be able to, sorry, slurp a tea there. You'll be able to share your work, and also, you know, I can send, you know, direct notifications. All right. So let me zoom in a little bit. I'll zoom in a little bit, and to about there. I think you can see everything there. There we go. I think that's all in. And let's get on and do some painting. So just going to check the chat before we go. Kit Kats is here, so we've almost got the full gang. I'm not seeing Pseudo Lucid, one of my students. Perhaps they're busy. But welcome, Kit Kats. Dan, sounds good to me. Kit Kat, oh yeah, you're just chatting amongst yourselves. Right, let's get going. Let's have a look. I'm going to just give this a quick wipe over with a bit of my water, because sometimes it can be a bit resistant. I think it's the chemical in the gesso or something or other. So just making sure all of that is done. There we go. And away we go. In no particular order, I'm just going to start painting. So probably going to start with the faces. That's always a good place to start. Time-wise, I'm aiming for, as always, I'm going to sort of aim for maybe an hour and a half, depending how it goes. And we'll see where we get on from there. And then you can go about your lovely business, whatever it is you're doing this evening. So I'm going to go for like a darkish colour here, I think. It's almost the same colour as the page, actually. Oh, thanks, James. Thanks for putting the Substack link in there again. That's very kind. MT, I keep wanting to see MTV, Dan. Dan, let the ink spell. Let the ink spell. That sounds quite cryptic. Let the ink spell. Or spill, maybe. Maybe it was spill. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, James. Also, you'll find the link to the Discord in there as well. Thank you. The guy in the middle has got some fantastic ears on him. Yeah, it's true. It's true. He's got some, I think he's supposed to be some kind of elf. I think that's the general idea. Did I not put any red in there? I don't think I did. Yeah, it's kind of like Lord of the Rings sort of inspired. That's the general idea anyway. Okay. So yeah, probably aiming at hopefully finishing wrapping up sometime just before 7. That's the plan anyway. A beautiful roaring fire in the background. Yeah, it's got, but it's that could work. Yeah, like it's sort of yellowy, orangey yellow in the background. That'd be nice. Yes, I meant to say spill. Yes, spill the. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought that's what you meant. It sounded cryptic otherwise. Let the ink spell. It almost sounds a bit like a Japanese koan or something or other. All right. Okay, okay. So oh yeah, so a little bit of just technical stuff. So apparently, I'm relatively new to Substack, and one of the reasons I've chosen it is you can do that once it's set up. I can do newsletters, and also it gives you the option. Apparently, well, not even apparently, I can upload videos there, and also if I wanted to, I could even write articles. I mean, I'm not planning on writing articles, but it might be like a few thoughts on some of the pieces or things like that. And the beauty of it is you can kind of, a bit like with live streams, you can kind of comment as well and add your own thoughts. So it can be more of a like conversation, which seems like quite a nice thing. And what were the other things? Yeah, you can put, it gives you links to other social media type stuff. Not that I'm on all of them. I've got TikTok. Instagram's a bit hit and miss. That's mainly like for family, really. I get a few views on Instagram. And of course YouTube, but TikTok is like that seems to be like really popular. Tend to get a lot of views on there. But it's just a really good hub, and it links also to Discord as we mentioned. So again, for any of you, I think Dan, you were talking about putting some of your artwork on there as well, and you can literally put. I mean, obviously within reason, put anything on there if you want to just kind of share. It might be like a nice picture or something or other. What's his Kit Kats? Man who spill ink have messy cleaner. Wise words, sage-like words. Kit Kats. Okay, okay. Right, and then what's that? Dan, I'm starting to think Kit Kats is a samurai master from Japan. Yes, could well be. Via Scotland, could well be. Okay. What's this? Scotland Samurai. It's got a nice ring to it, hasn't it? Scotland Samurai. That could easily be. I could see like a graphic novel in that. Again, you got an idea there. So take notes, Kit Kats. You could have like, you know, from Little Acorns and all that. You never know. And James is a man after my own heart. A Sunday roast and a beer kind of guy. Oh, I mean, they're standards, aren't they? I mean, that you just can't beat it. You can't beat stuff like that. That's like soul food. James. Just have a conversation between yourselves. Right. Okay, and the idea is here, again, it's just like a light touch. I'm not going in heavy with these paints. It's just meant to be a wash. I think that's really where I get the best results, is when it's like a, not exactly a hint, but it's more of a lighter touch. Otherwise, it just turns into oil painting, like that thing I showed you the other day, which is nothing wrong with that, but it just turns into a bigger operation then. And I've done like most of the work with the inking, so this is just to set it off. Okie dokie. And that could almost be him done. And then we'll go on to the man with the funny ears. Right. So this geezer, maybe similar. Similar skin tone. So all he's thinking is, how can I get my hands on that money? So he's, I don't know what's going on here. He's kind of like arguing with the guy, or there's some kind of bargaining going on. This guy's just thinking, just when can I get my hands on that bag of gold? Gotta give him a bit of a whiskey nose. He's a bit of a boozy elf. Pseudo Lucid, excellent, good to see you. I'm so happy you're here. And obviously with all the rest of the lovely people, but I'm just so happy that I've got one of my students. That was a really pleasant surprise the other day, Pseudo Lucid. Because I was starting to feel a bit despondent, because I'm thinking, oh, please, wanted at least someone from the class to kind of be here. And you represented, I tell you what, that's what it is, Pseudo Lucid, you're representing. That's how I'm seeing it. So it's lovely to see you here. Right. Okay. I don't want to do too much here, actually. That face is generally looking all right. Just a bit of a little bit of pink on the lip. Hair-wise, probably something like dark brown, something like that. Sam's here as well. Welcome, Sam. Yo, yo, yo. Welcome, Sam. Good to see you. Good to see you. So we've almost got, haven't we? Almost got the whole gang. Who are we missing? I'm sure there's some other ones. Some new friends that we've made. There was, oh goodness, a good few yesterday. Some lovely people yesterday. Is it Heather? Oh goodness, I can't forget. I can't remember what you were saying. Tamisha was another one. Not sure if Tamisha subscribed. Right. So that's and then clothing wise, probably going to be some fairly obscure grey brown. Robert Dempster's in the house. I wonder what a little purple ultramarine blue would look like on that guy's clothing. Which one, the middle guy or the one on the right? I think everyone's met Rob before. You've met Rob before, haven't you? He's my partner in crime at uni. Super talented bloke. Yeah, the middle one. All right, we'll have a look. Ultramarine. Well, maybe I'll go on, do a bit of dark. Maybe when it comes down to here. Let's have a look then. A bit of purple. So, what did you say? Oh no, read the comments. You have a great following. We are a family. Absolutely, absolutely. It sort of came out of nowhere. really. And so I'm a big believer in fate. Rob knows this. I don't see, and I think Rob feels the same. I don't want to speak for you, Rob, but I think you're of a similar mind. I think things do happen for a reason. I'm a bit fatalistic that way. And I think there's a certain amount of destiny that goes on without going too woo woo, as they say. Um, Purple ultramarine, yeah. Okay, yeah. So let's try that then. So purple, purpley blue. Maybe a bit lighter. That needs to be a little bit lighter. So almost like violet, I guess. Rob, totally organically and at the right time. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It has got a. Does again? I don't want to sound too out there, but definitely it feels like fate. Call it what you will. Right. Yeah, could be. I guess that could work. It's just a different color, I guess, to the brown. I think that should stay as a skin tone though there, or something. Right. I'm not sure if that violet comes through. I'll maybe like revisit that. Okay, so that's that dude. Now this guy again, so he's going to be. See, he kind of looks a little bit. He could just be like a really gentle, wise man, but then again, he may not be because looks can be deceiving. It could be that and who are the good guys in this picture? This is the thing. It could be that maybe like his son or his daughter have gone missing and he's paying these vagabonds to go and rescue them or something or other. But you don't know. It could be a trap. Dan, it's only to get bigger and better. Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, let's hope. Let's hope. It is, like say from little acorns, and all of that, mighty oaks. But I think really one of the really nice things is like that I've seen forming from this is genuine friendship between obviously between us, but the between all of you, and you've not, as far as I'm aware, you've not met each other. So it's quite that's quite a special thing. We've got, sort of like similar sense of humor, and you all seem like the kind of people you easily go down to the pub, whatever, and have a few jars and have a laugh and whatever, and again without actually meeting. So that's quite again it's interesting how it's almost like long lost friends. I think this is the kind of vibe I'm getting. It's like long lost friends, even though you don't know each other. Right. And as I mentioned before, you could whatever. Obviously, it's nice that this continues, but you can actually independently, get together if you wanted to, and certainly through the Discord and all that kind of stuff. So, but it's nice to see. Anyway, right. Comments. Kit Kats, shades of grey, all they're all shifty looking. They are actually, aren't they? They all look a bit sketchy. Yeah, they do. And it's like a tavern, and they're a bit. There used to be this pub. It doesn't exist anymore in Matlock. It was called the Gate. And if any of my friends, I know Sean watches this, and Sean, if you're watching this, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And it used to be up on the tops, and it's where all the kind of like working men used to go out, like clocking off after work. And it was like this, so it was, like, better be careful what I say here. It was just this kind of den of iniquity, a kind of, just slightly, always just a little bit sketchy, and but full of characters. Sometimes scraps would go on, and I'd occasionally, when I was working with some of my friends, would pop in there and see some friends from school. But yeah, it was a bit like Mos Eisley, from Star Wars. It's like it had that kind of vibe. Lots of different creatures in there. So this may be where I'm getting my inspiration. Like I say, if Sean's watching this, Sean, you know what I'm talking about. Or Martin, even though I don't think Martin watches this. But anyway. Where are we? Right. Dan, the guy on the right is no good guy. He's a trick. This is what I thought. He just looks like he's walking them into a trap. I absolutely agree. So, Dan, at Christmas, we will all be together. One of us enjoying some food, some drinks, looking over your book and remembering the stories behind the pages. Thing is, how absolutely beautiful would that be? Just that, because like you're on this journey to see all, yeah. Sort of gives me goosebumps a little bit. The idea of it, of like that being at the end of it, that's magical. And definitely, I think, all being well, I might have to the bar tab might have to be on me, I think, for all your support and all that. So, but that would be absolutely awesome. But yeah, let's make it happen. Let's absolutely make it happen. But that will be wild if that happened, and I think it will happen. I've got a feeling it's just going to happen. That will be wild. Thank you, James. Gentle Substack reminder. So for anyone watching here, maybe there are some people who are just watching. If you want to be seeing some, basically building a community, additional posts of artwork, just sort of comments about work. It looks like I can do video. Well, obviously I can put videos on there. It looks like I can even do live streams on there. I'll have to explore that. I mean, I'm not sure, but apparently it's you can do that. Or I can write articles if I want. There's all kinds of stuff. It's quite interesting, and it's it's just a more solid way of just staying in touch, because there's that, and also there's Discord. So there's a, and I think as long as there's kind of like a bit more of a connection. I mean, this YouTube's pretty good. I mean, but it's episodic. So when I'm not streaming, that's when it all ends. The lights go out, and you've got the comment section on the videos, but that's about it. Whereas the Substack is that just continues. And you, like I say, you can sort of talk amongst yourselves if you want. You know, you can whatever, you make it whatever you want. And with Discord, as I mentioned before, and this is to everyone, you know, you could even, you know, post some work yourself. You know, it could be a drawing, or it could even be like, you know, an inspirational photograph. You know, maybe you're somewhere really beautiful, and you kind of go, I saw this the other day, and it's really inspired me, and here it is. I mean, it's just stuff like that. I guess you could put things like memes on there, but that can get a bit messy. Messy with the memes. I mean, I love memes, but it's one of those ones where they can be a bit spicy these days, can't they? So you got to be careful. You got to be careful. But yeah, so you know, just stuff like that. Stuff like that. James, that will be great. Be a great shout, Dan. I'll definitely be up for that. Oh, totally. I love the idea of it. I love it. It's got to happen. We've actually got to meet. It's one of those ones where, you know, make a note in your diaries that, you know, we're going to meet, because it's going to happen. And it'll be fast. And like I say, I've said this the other day. It was like, I didn't have this on my bingo card. I really didn't. I've been doing videos, as you can see, but I think meeting all of you, and, you know, and hopefully this, you know, the circle continues to grow. But it's like, I just did not expect this at all. And it's lovely. It's I said before, it's like become like a real highlight of the day, you know. It's great. Kit Kats, need to dash. I'll check back with you with the progress later. Pleasure as always. Thanks, Kit Kats. It's always lovely to see you. Thanks for dropping by. May see you at the end then. We'll see what time we're at. Yeah. If you're back, I'll see you. If not, maybe see you tomorrow. James, we can set all sorts of channels up on Discord if people want a memes channel. It's easy enough to do. Yeah, that's true. I remember like when there was exactly James. I remember when I was teaching at this place called Confetti in Nottingham many years ago. It was a games thing, and the students, like being game students, they wanted to. I think they started posting some memes, but some of them were like a little bit too spicy. I remember like Ainsley Harriott was like really popular at the time, so everyone was doing like Ainsley Harriotts, you know, which is like, that's fairly tame. But then they get a bit spicy. So what the tutor did was he provided them a space. I think it all, you know, I'm not sure if it was done through the college, but it was a place where they could post their own. You know, it's a bit like, you know, a bit wilder and not official academic, you know, territory, which of course is, you know, that's not great. You can't have spicy memes in education, but if you set one up, then it's like, well, that's great, you know. I don't get the sense anyone's like an edgelord or anything like that, so I imagine they'll be relatively tame. What's that there? Are we doing? Yeah, we're doing all right. So far so good. So far so good. All looking all right. I generally like the clothes. I think that worked out all right. I'm not sure if that ultraviolet blue came through though, because I think because of the nature of not the nature, but the tone of the page. Not sure it quite works, but anyway, moving on. we shall now have a look at doing the other hand. Bit of yellow in there. And a bit of brown in there. And so all being well, Dan, we'll save the pirate ship if you're around, because you might have other plans. But I think I'll save it for when you're around. So if you pop up tomorrow, then we'll have a go at it then. If not, whenever you're going to be around, we'll do that then. I'm curious to see how that one's going to work out. Right, okay, so bam, bam, bam. Then we've got the wooden tool. We've got the, that's probably going to be a very dark red. Something like that. Oh. And maybe just like a greenish tinge to the bottle. That generally looks all right, I think. So question, this is completely off topic. Did anyone go and see Project Hail Mary? I went to see it with my friend. Where are we? I'm losing track of the days. Was it Friday? It might have been Friday. I think it was Friday. And I highly, highly recommend it. I've already told Rob about it, but it is worth the hype. It's a very, very good film. Well, I was curious if anyone's seen it and what they thought about it. Pseudo Lucid looked a little like Interstellar sort of thing from what I saw. Well, it's actually it's got an element of Interstellar, but it was written by the guy who wrote The Martian, and I would definitely say there's Martian vibes about it, and I thought that was a great film. But it's just, I don't want to spoil it, obviously, because you might be going to see it. James, I haven't seen it, but I heard good things. Yeah, I don't want to say too much about it, other than it is, and anyone who knows me knows that I'm very cynical about films now. I don't really go in for modern films, not really. That's another story. But I went to see this, and it's probably the best film I've seen for the last 10 years. It's that good. And ultimately, and again, I'm just trying to steer clear of you know, I don't want to give any spoilers, but it's emotional and it's feel good. It's just a really, you know, emotional roller coaster, but really brilliant feel good movie. And I went to see, oh yeah, and that's the other thing as well. Go and see it on IMAX if you can. I went to Sheffield to see it at the Cineworld there. So wherever you are, go to the IMAX to see it, and you'll be blown away. But yeah, there's an element of it's got a slight vibe of Interstellar about it. It's like the space scenes, particularly where like you've got Matthew McConaughey trying to dock, you know, with the spaceships and all that. But brilliant film, highly, highly, highly recommended. James, wow, that's a great endorsement. It's at the top of my list now. I rarely go to the cinema myself these days, but may treat myself over the Easter weekend. Oh, do. It's. I mean, it's one of those things. It's a rare thing because I don't go to the cinema much anymore. I don't. I just don't. There's just nothing. I pay a lot of attention to, you know, because cinema's in real trouble at the moment. They're not doing very well. A number of factors, which we won't go into, but they're not getting the audiences, and people aren't going to cinemas anymore because of, you know, there's other elements like, you know, people staying at home watching their, you know, 4K TVs and sound systems and all that, whatever. But you know, and of course, a lot of it is overpriced. You know, the tickets and popcorn. So it is very rare that I go. However, this is one of those films where you go and see that on the big screen. It will not disappoint. It's like I say, it's emotional. I don't mind saying it was. I went to see it, and you know, I got a bit misty eyed in parts. It was, and that's, I'm not prone to kind of crying in the cinema, but it's just very good. It's just a very good. And Ryan Gosling, who's been talking about the film, he's talked about this. You know, he's saying like, because a lot of films these days tend to be quite nihilistic, and a lot of it is quite negative, and particularly about the future. It's always just apocalyptic, and it's just, you know, yeah, it's just, they're just not great, not really. And this is one of those. I tell you what, someone said it also. It reminded me of the '80s, and I think that's very true. It's got like a bit of a throwback to like you know, '80s, '90s optimism, and we're all going to make it. It's going to be okay, that kind of thing. And I think we've missed that. I think with a lot with films. And I don't know. This isn't going to spoil it if I tell you this. A lot of the effects in it are practical effects. So there probably will be some CGI in it, but a lot of it is practical effects, which is totally '80s. Because in the '80s, and I was a child of the '80s, most films are either practical or optical effects, and that's, and of course the talk of the town now is like, we've got to start making films that are you know, using practical effects, which is like, well, yeah, you know, should have been doing it years ago, really. How are we doing for time? No, we're good. We're good. We are good. Pseudo-lucid. Criticisms of current day situations are important and can exist alongside general optimism, not necessarily in the same piece of media, but the recent Superman film was an example of a good balance, I think. Yeah, I didn't see the Superman film. It was, I think that was one that it sort of split audiences, didn't it? I think some people really enjoyed it and thought it was, just like just an enjoyable movie. Um, I'm always, for me, with Superman, I'm a Christopher Reeve guy. I can't. I've seen all the different, even like Henry Cavill was good, but Christopher Reeve will always be Superman. I remember going to the cinema when I was a kid when that film came out, and I did believe a man could fly. It was like that, It was only a little kid, but it was a really wonderful film. But going back to your thing though, there's films can comment on current day stuff, of course, but it's more like, okay, I'll explain it another way. When someone goes to the cinema, they don't really want reality. They don't want to be reminded of what's going on in the world. This is what happened during the Second World War. I can't remember who it was. It was a famous producer. It might have been Walt Disney. It might have been someone basically sort of saying our job, basically, where's the effect of life is difficult enough as it is. We don't need to remind people. And cinema is a brilliant tool. It's not necessarily to escape, but it's just for a minute, just to unshackle yourself from what's going on and just enjoy another world, and not to be bringing the world into that. And it can still be philosophical, informative, allegorical, right? So if it's like you may or may not have read Aesop's Fables, from I remember as a kid. And this is what movies are, to a certain degree, they're allegories. So they're a way to teach us about morals and things like that. And, they're morality tales. This is what they're about. And but at the same time, they're not. Aesop's Fables, for example, is not political. It's not commenting on what's going on in the world. It's saying, if you do this, this will happen, and if you ignore this, this will happen, and such and so forth. And I think that is. And someone did a video about this just recently, which I shared with Rob. Talking about how. Movies are like the world's built on stories. Everything, whether that's religion or just anything, it's all built on giving us our stories, and we live our lives by stories. Without getting too serious, but And so when films start bringing in modern day stuff and commenting on what's going on, it snaps you out of, again, in my opinion, it snaps you out of that immersion. And all of a sudden you're now thinking about this or that. And we don't, obviously we know what we're talking about, current day politics or this or that. But, that's just my opinion at the end of the day. But that's why I just like to escape. That's why I don't do things like political art. You get some people who do. I did start doing a bit of that many years ago. I had a gallery in Matlock, and I started doing kind of like Banksy-esque type stuff and a bit of social commentary and things like that, which I think I produced some interesting stuff. But then that's when I went back into fantasy, because I thought this isn't really working for me. It's you can actually say a lot by actually avoiding commentary about the world. So you can actually say a lot more. People have, if you're familiar with Tolkien's work, Lord of the Rings. he used to get quite annoyed when people used to say, "Oh, the films are an allegory," and he didn't like that, because he said they're not an allegory. They are what they are. You know, they're like morality tales. And I think there probably is an allegory in there, but he didn't make the films to be commenting about, because some people say it was about the advent of the First World War and industrialization and mechanization and things like that. And maybe on some level that's what he was doing, but that wasn't his intention. It was just literally to make. Well, he didn't think that England had any of our. We didn't have our myths. This is his idea behind it. We didn't have any mythologies, and it was part Arthurian. If you know stuff about that, Arthurian legends and the likes. And it was his way of trying to kind of create another mythology. But he wasn't commenting about, the state of the nation in the early 20th century, and the rise of the First World War. It wasn't industrialization, although he didn't like it. In some ways, it was probably like a commentary on it, but he didn't. It wasn't a political statement he was making. Anyway, hopefully that makes sense. All right, how are we doing for time? 6:31. We are good for time, folks. We are good. Right. And we're almost really at the end of this. Time flies when you're having fun, eh? All right, and then a bit over here. And a bit there. But I think for the most part, I think we're good. Keep dropping water on there. I don't want to do that. See, you get stuff like that happening. And that. Okay. Well, I'm very happy with that. Again, I don't want to congratulate myself too much, but I think in general, that's worked out all right. Dan, I know this is off conversation, but I would really like for you to draw a vampire picture, really dark and scary. Dan, I'll write that down. Vampire. I've got a few things. Someone said Shogun. It might have been Kit Kats or you. A Shogun scene. How about a Shogun scene? Well, I'll have to think about this. Shogun plus vampires. Maybe it could be like ancient Japanese samurai fighting a vampire. Or we just do the two of them separate. So we just have a samurai and we have a vampire. To be continued. Dun, dun, dun. But yeah, I like it. I like the vampires are great. And no, it's not really off topic. I mean, it's great to get a bit of feedback. And as I always say, I'm open to suggestions. And that other suggestion, with the suggestion you made with the pirate ship, Dan, that ended up being a really fantastic choice. That was probably like, to be fair, for me, that's like one of the, in my opinion, is one of the standout pieces in this sketchbook. I keep saying sketchbook. I mean, it's kind of a sketchbook. It's more illustrations, really, isn't it? Illustrations in a sketchbook. So I am totally open to suggestions. Just going to try and blend that a little bit more. Dan, I absolutely love vampires. No, that sounds great. Excellent. Yeah, vampires great. I mean, I love all the kind of like the film stuff like Blade. I love that. What's the other film? Interview with the Vampire. That was good. I read the book on that. There's a whole series, isn't there? But that whole lore with vampires, it's just great. It's one of those evergreens, isn't it? It just always, there'll always be vampires. Maybe there are vampires. Apparently, I knew a guy at college. This is going back, oh my days. This is going back 20, 30 years. 30 years. And he said with a straight face that he'd seen a vampire. And I went, right, sure thing. And he was deadly serious. And this is a cliche, but he said he met them in a graveyard. And it sounds like a tall story, but he was like, because I kind of like scoffed it off, and he wasn't joking. So who knows? I'm not going to say either way. Oh, Fright Night. Fright Night. Now you're talking. Welcome to Fright Night. Chris Sarandon. Brilliant. Brilliant as a vampire. I forget the kid's name in it. But that is like, and again, as much as anything else with Fright Night, because there's Fright Night and Fright Night 2. Quintessential 80s horror film. Brilliant soundtrack. Filmed brilliantly. But done really well. Roddy McDowall as the kind of vampire. Was it Vincent? Something Vincent, wasn't it? Is it David Vincent or something Vincent? The fearless vampire slayer. Brilliant film. Love it. Yes, definitely one of mine. There was another one called Vamp. I'm not sure if you ever saw that. It had Grace Jones who played this vampire. A bit lower budget. But yeah, see if you can check that one out. Vamp, it was called. I forget the actor's name in it. James, I didn't really rate the recent Nosferatu film, which is a shame, as I love the other stuff from Robert Eggers, especially The Lighthouse. I've not seen The Lighthouse. Now, did Robert Eggers also do, or am I getting it mixed up? Didn't he do that biopic of Vincent van Gogh with the American actor with the crazy face, Willem Dafoe? I'm not sure if he did that. Yeah, I'd heard that about, because didn't they give the vampire moustache? I thought, what? Like the Nosferatu character, and also the fact that they couldn't call him Dracula because of the Stoker, Bram Stoker's estate apparently wouldn't allow it or something like that. But yeah, and also the guy Skarsgård guy, he's another one of these guys where he's a good actor, but he's just in everything, and it's like, do you have to be in everything? I don't know. Maybe he does, but you just get these actors who are just in everything. Who's the other guy? The one who was in, what is it? My brain's gone. I must be getting tired or hungry. The Star Wars thing, The Mandalorian. The guy who's in that, Pablo. But he's just like in everything. It's like, dude, he's a good actor, but it's like, do you have to be in everything? Dan, I have so much. I think that's a typo. Something of. I have so much something. Fright Night, old movie poster, Blu-ray disc. Oh, fantastic! Yeah, I can't get enough of it for some inspiration. You should watch the film or have a look at some of the pictures. Oh, totally. The thing is also the film stock that was used in the 80s. I've said this before, having made films and things like that, films just look so much different now, like the emulsion or whatever it is. Films just look so much better back in the 80s. Not, the quality now is great. But if you look at like the 70s and the 80s, it's just... And that film, like I say, the bit, and there's some genuinely scary bits. Use the guy that he calls evil when he becomes like a servant of the vampire, and he comes at him. He sort of turns into a werewolf, and he kind of ends up getting a spindle from the stairs and stabs him through the heart. And there's that whole death scene, and I remember being like a bit creeped out by it because it was just like the weird sound effects as well as his dying. And then as he's turning more human, then he starts crying because it was quite weird and disturbing, but brilliant film. And like I say, Chris Sarandon, brilliant actor. He was like a massively underrated actor as well. He was in a few good films. He was in Dog Day Afternoon, but he was like vastly. Oh, he was in the Princess Bride as well. He played the bad guy in it, but he was like hugely underrated actor. He wasn't used half as much as he could have been, but in that film, he absolutely owned it and played a brilliant vampire, and just all around, just great film. James, please give The Lighthouse. I will do. Yeah, the Lighthouse. Yeah, I've heard brilliant films about things that because it's almost like almost like a play, isn't it? From what I've heard, The Lighthouse. But yeah, did he do that? I can't remember if he did do that. Maybe it was a different director who did the. I might be getting confused. The biopic of Vincent van Gogh, The Lighthouse. But yeah, I heard good things about. Also, the thing about the director, whose name escapes me again. What was his name again? You did say his name. Am I going to find it? I'm probably not going to find it. But the director is like an auteur, so he's like a sort of Tarantino, isn't he? Or like a Ridley Scott or Denis Villeneuve and all these other people. They've got like a vision about what they're doing. The only one I didn't, you know what though, James? The only one that I started watching it and I thought, ooh, I had to kind of like stop watching it. I'm not usually that squeamish because I love zombie films. Was The Witch, and I watched the kind of first 20 minutes, and I don't know. It left me a bit cold, that one. I mean, very well done, like scary, but there's that scene. I think you'll know what I'm talking about with the witch, with a little cauldron, or big mortar and pestle. And I thought, I'm not sure. But still, very good director. James, Dog Day Afternoon, another great film. Yeah, I love John Cazale. Yeah, John Cazale. What a tragedy as well, John Cazale. Taken away too soon. I think he got like a brain tumor. I remember seeing Al Pacino talking about him, and he just broke down in tears because he loved him so much. And of course, Deer Hunter, John Cazale in the Deer Hunter, and of course, Fredo. You betrayed me, Fredo. But again, just played a brilliant Weasley, like insipid, weak kind of. But he just did it. He was one of those actors where he should have just gone on like strength to strength to strength. All of that era of, De Niro, Pacino, Keitel. I'm probably missing some other ones out, but Cazale was in there. Oh, and John Savage was another one. Oh, of course, Christopher Walken. All of that era of like 70s, mid to late 70s. And he should have been part of that, and it's really sad that he wasn't part of it. Pseudo Lucid. One cool thing about older films that were actually on film is that they can be rescanned for higher resolutions than previous releases, which is neat. That's true. That's very true because they can get. I know they've done it. There have been some criticisms because there was James Cameron did. It was an AI upgrade of Aliens, which of course is one of my favorite films of all time. Absolutely amazing film. But someone was sort of saying, because they did it for like a Blu-ray, it was like a Blu-ray edition, so it just looked too perfect. This is kind of like, this is the fine line with a lot of movies, because like I say, I've made films before, and I'm not a big expert on film stock, but I know that like you get things like particularly to do with like frame rates and motion blur and things like that. If you take that away, your eyes can't concentrate. You need we can't concentrate when you got like say a hand going past your eyes. That's not going to be in focus, and the amount of light that your eye lets in, it won't allow it. So there is something to be said about upgrading. I think we're going to see more of it. I think we're probably going to see with the use of things like AI, where they can probably bring old films and make them like 4K and just make them look like they've been made yesterday. I think that's already on the cards. I think they did something similar with what was it, with The Wizard of Oz? It's something I saw where they did it with IMAX. But it's definitely the way forward. But I think, it's like going back to the talking about the Project Hail Mary. I think there's going to be a yearning, and I hear people talking about this, and I can feel this in my bones anyway. There's a yearning for more authentic things, things that are more handmade and moving away from digital. I think people want to see like handmade films again, stuff where it's, and maybe even like stuff that is shot on film, or things like that, and with a more human thumbprint on it. Let's put it that way. Again, in my opinion. But yeah, good comment, Pseudolicid. James, yeah, he was diagnosed. Oh, his lung cancer. That was it. I beg your pardon. Lung cancer, and it spread. Taken too far. Yeah, too far too soon. Godfather films, Dog Day Afternoon, Deer Hunter. Exactly. I mean, here's the thing. It's like with all these things, I get very sad. I get very melancholic when I watch older films, because I think about stars that I've loved who have gone, and you just think, it pains me, particularly when you kind of grow up. It's a bit like with musicians, right? People like anyone really. You might be like, I wasn't like a massive Ozzy Osbourne fan, but Ozzy Osbourne, or you could even go back to musicians like David Bowie or Prince, or any of the old Joe Strummer from The Clash. These are people you may or may not have kind of just grown up with and had in the background. And it was another favourite film director of mine, David Lynch, who I used to be a huge fan, and Twin Peaks and all that. He was called Jimmy Stewart from Mars. That was the nickname that Mel Brooks gave to him, and he was a big James Stewart or Jimmy Stewart fan. The It's a Wonderful Life and on Rear Window and all that. And he said something that really touched me. He said when Jimmy Stewart died, he said David Lynch said he was really upset because he really loved his films, but he said it just felt. Why did he put it? He said something like, "It just felt good that he was in the world." It just felt good that he was in the world, and that really touched me. I just thought, it's really true. It feels good just to have these people in the world, and anyway, I don't want to end on a sad note. But anyway, enough of that. So I think we are let's do the usual thing. Let's just wrap things up now, as we're approaching the hour. And I think, let me just bring it up so you can see it. I think that turned out rather well, all things considered. I think, and also really good conversation as well tonight, folks. Really good. And like I say, it's just really good sort of hanging out and having a chat. Let's have a look at some of the other things from previous. So this is the one that I'm going to be inking soon. I keep saying inking, the one that I'll be painting soon. I love this guy, actually. You can see there. I don't usually draw animals, although that one's going to be an animal. You can't really see it properly. He's got his little cat there, little tabby, and he's got his tail wrapped around, and he's got this kind of giant robot arm. It looks a bit like Thanos' glove, or even Hellboy's glove, whatever, but he's like some kind of inventor or something or other. Anyway, that will be watercoloured at some point. That one you've seen already, and that one was from the other day. And we've got some faces as well. I think they turned out really well. Really liked. This is kind of what I'm aiming for colour-wise. It's just more of a kind of a hint. It just accentuates it. I can go strong sometimes, but I also like the kind of the ink to come through. We've got the Monkey King. And again, I'll just try and keep this brief. This is one we've just done, which turned out well. That one I may even just keep as black and white. I'll see. Although I'm getting some paint on there right now, which I don't want. And we've got some more faces, as you can see there. And again, that one looks a bit like Danny DeVito from, was it Batman 2? These ones are upside down. I was tired, I started doing it, and then I just carried on, not knowing that they're upside down, but I really liked how that came out. I might colour this one I seem to be staving off doing it for some reason. I just quite like it in black and white. And what else? We'll do a few more and then we'll wrap it up. These ones you've seen. So for anyone who's regular here, you will have seen these already. But I thought I'd just give a quick view, because sometimes you get people browsing by going, wait, what's this? What's this? And that's usually when my right-hand man, James, steps in and says, oh, it's etc., etc., etc. So, yeah, some more there, some more there. We'll just whip through a few more. There, and there, and there. And that one we're going to paint at some point. And again, we'll probably just leave it on that one again. So, let's have a look at the chat before we wrap up. So. If actually, James, if you want me, could you do me a favour and just paste that link again? Can I be as bold as just to ask you to do that? So, folks, it's been a wonderful, wonderful stream yet again. These have become the highlight of the day. Hopefully, it's the same with you as well. If you do like this content, if you're new here, or if you're watching this a little bit later, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. James hopefully has put a Substack in there, which I think he has. Thank you, James. You can click on to the Substack link. I shall also pin it in the comment section when the video is uploaded. So you can go on there and you'll be able to keep abreast of any updates and things like that. And also we've got a Discord channel as well, so you'll be able to join that and have a conversation there. Other than that, all that's left to say is, we have Anjanea. Welcome, Anjanea. Thank you for the lovely comments. Anjanea, if you want to see more, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, click on the Substack link. You'll be able to get more information about the channel. Also, some behind the scenes. I'll probably upload in some sketches. Stuff that I'm doing and thoughts about this and that. So be sure to do that. But other than that, thank you to everyone for joining tonight. I think it's been a really lovely stream tonight. Some great conversation and some interesting thoughts about movies and stuff like that, and their meanings. And again, this is what it's all about, really. Just having a draw, a paint, hanging out, having a great time, and that's what it's all about. So, folks, on that note, I want to wish you a good evening wherever you are, or if you're watching this later, maybe it's the morning, afternoon, or night. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, have a great time. Take care of yourselves, and look forward to seeing you in the next stream. Thank you, everyone, and thank you to James, my moderator, for taking care of everyone in the chat. Okay, have a lovely evening, and I shall see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye for now.